Hi, it's Andy Gorman again, and here is another product, really good, really cool, right? Very simple. Is it going to help you golf? It could. Will it help your way of life on the golf course? Why not? And especially when we're going into winter tees. How difficult is it to get a tee into a mat? Well, it can be extremely difficult. So, yeah, I can already mistake my hand. So, all too often, we're out there on the practice ground. I've been to my local range the last week and they've got no tees. They tell me that the country's run out. Right? And maybe a story and a half. However, whatever the issue is, I can't practice my driving without putting a tee in the ground. So if I can't get it into the mat, and we've all tried that and failed, and have those issues out on the winter tees as well, out on the golf course, you know, then maybe we're going to look at another solution. And T-Claw does just that. So it's really cool, really simple. I'll just way around do it. So I've got a couple of them set in the ground, and it's a little claw. It's got a little twist lock, a little bit like your cleats on your shoes, to be perfectly honest with you. So I've got one set down here, nice and bright, luminescent green. Once I've seen that somewhere else, and that gives me my target line. I'll put another one in, and now you can see just how straightforward and simple is that. Now, what I will say is, because of the force that we will generate when we hit a golf ball off a tee, the tee will come forward and flick, and that will put the claw under a little bit of force. So as much as it's extremely stable here, it's not likely to stay in the mat itself. So word of caution. What I've also done here is I've put the claw, the opposite claw, out by my feet, but I put it underneath the target line. So kind of just adding a little extra support to it. The reason for this one here is because you don't want to send both claws down into the driving range, because that would make an awful lot of sense. So what we're doing, just really simple, setting ourselves up. Right. You can see now I can check ball position, I've got my target line, I can hit a shot with the driver, I can get into the same position each time, and yeah, it will jump out of the ground, that's absolutely fine, but it's not going to cause any harm or any loss. So there it is, the target line one has held it more or less in place. Not going to cause anybody any issues. It's a wooden tee, it's probably disintegrated, yes it has, far too strong. But ultimately what we've done there is just created a perfect opportunity for us to practice with the tees in our bag when the driving range at our local facility has run out for whatever reason. There's another reason though why I really like the T-Claw, and that is to practice the variable shots that we will have around the greens, or maybe even some of the shots that you'll play into the greens, because for me, one of the most sort of fun parts of learning is the ball flight laws. Now we know that from a ball flight law, if the club face is closed to the path of the club, then we will get a draw flight on the shot. And the beauty about this T-Claw system is that I can actually set myself up with the path of the club, the target, and the club face. So the green one, the target, and the yellow one is the club face. I can set those up now and play shots off the claw and strings, see what happens to the golf ball when I do that, and then practice my alignment for hitting those shots. Of course, it makes perfect sense to do it on the camera so that you can see it. So as simple as a little twist out of the grass, down the line. So I like to use the green one as the target line, just as my choice, my reference point. There's the target line. Now if the club face is set closed to that, then I would expect the golf ball to start a little bit left, and then it would bend left as well, and of course we've got the nets here. So I can set the club face up nice and square to the yellow line, but obviously close to the green target line, and you'll probably see the golf ball has started left, very close to the yellow line, and it will carry on going left. Now, if I wanted to get smart at this, then I can set my target line and my club face line a little bit more to the right. So exactly the same shot. Set it up just to the side, just in front of it maybe, in the midst of it, wherever we need to be, so it doesn't really matter. So now I've got the target line and the club face line. So there's the target line, so that's me set up to the target. Remember, the target itself is going to be more down here. Set the club face over, and now that would start the ball a little bit further right than we had before, but now get the draw coming back onto the target. I can learn how to draw or fade the golf ball. Opposite would be effect with the fade, so the club face has to be open to the path of the club, and then you would have to adjust yourself to bend the golf ball onto the target. T-claw allows me to practice some of the skills that I'm working on in my game. So if I am trying to work out how to hit a more controlled draw, or where I need to be aiming in relation to my target line, it's all relative to the loft as well, so lots of other factors to it, but at least I can learn those skills, and the T-claw gives me an option that tour sticks can't. As good as the tour stick is, it's just a stick on the ground. The beauty about these is they're fully adjustable. Screw them into the ground and we can play off the top of them. Really love it. I think it's a great product. It's not going to cost you a lot of money to get it. It comes in a very neat box, about as much string as you could imagine, different colour claws, but ultimately get a T-claw set in your bag, get down on the driving range and give it a go, because trust me, you'll have some fun learning how to hit the golf ball with different shapes like the better players can, and the T-claw may well be the reason why you've learned to do it this winter. Give it a go. Catch you soon.